Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with another StarCraft commentary. And right now we are in the middle of a series. We are ongoing. This is the Sky Pro League from 2006. This is the second round. And so we had the first round where there's an entire season, and then the playoffs to see who was the winner of that half of the season. This is the second half of the season. We have another round of playoffs, and whoever wins this round of playoffs is then going to go face the winner of the first round of playoffs for the grand final of the entire Pro League season for the year-long thing. So this is the second round playoffs. There's a best of 7 between the 4th and 3rd rank. Then that goes to the winner of that goes to the second rank, and then the winner of that faces off against the first rank, and then the winner of that's the winner, and they'll go against the final. And I'm explaining this all again because I know if you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably all caught up, but I want to make sure that we are all caught up with our guest caster that we have here today. Rise is joining me for the last part of this series. We're in game number 4 of this best of 7. But Rise is going to be joining me for the rest of the series. Rise, how are you doing? It's good to cast with you again. How's it going?
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here casting StarCraft again. It's been a while, but it never gets old, despite the games being old and with very few pixels. I still love watching them, even though like I can't help but watch stuff in 1080p on like Twitch or YouTube, right? But no,
Yeah.
I'm excited about the games, and maybe the one thing that I'm not sure about on these games is who is up three or the first 3 games so far.
Yeah, so this is game number 4 of the second match, which is MBC Game Hero versus Hwasheng Oz, who at the time was still called Lakef Oz. And MBC Game is actually up 2-1. 4GG won the first game for Oz, then Sea Shield took the second game, and then the 2v2 was won by MBC Game. So if Pusan, who represents MBC Game here, wins this game, he's going to take him to a 3-1 lead, which is going to be really difficult to come back from. But anytime, this is 2006. You know, when we kind of started doing a lot of casting in 2008, 7, 8, anytime was not really a strong player. You know, he was like solid, but not super strong. But in 2006, anytime was still considered to be one of the higher level Protosses in the game. Maybe not quite as high as others, but he's super strong. So this is a battle of 2 strong 2006 Protosses who would kind of become the lower level players over the next year or two. And it looks like Pusan is going to be, by the way, sorry, we get the color. Yeah, he's going to be the yellow Protoss. He's going to be at the bottom. And by the way, the VOD's a little bit cut off. Unfortunately, that's just the VOD that I have. The minimap is a little cut off on the bottom. It's not me. That's nothing I can do about that. And so anytime is going to be the teal Protoss at the left side of the map. And so, yeah, Rise, you might not have been watching many of these older games, but the meta is very different in 2006, and the gameplay ability is pretty different as well. So we might not quite see the same level as if you've been watching Korean pros on Twitch. So we'll see how this goes, though.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Pusan was, I remember, like you said, he certainly wasn't one of the top tier guys when we were all doing the games back in the day. I do think he had started to slide back a little bit at that time. And anytime, I barely remember, honestly, at all. I think at that point he had already, to your point, fallen off more so than Pusan. So I have no frame of reference for like who's favored here at all. But I'm going to have to just go with rooting for Pusan a bit because I know him a little bit better. And he's a pretty cool looking dude. So yeah. I guess to start off, since I can't read Korean at all, and I think you just said this, but who is in what position here?
So the way you can tell is because Pusan plays for Hero, and at least Hero is written in English. So Hero is on the right side of the overlay at the top. He's gonna be the yellow Protoss at the bottom of the screen.
Got it.
Against Anytime. Yeah, and these are both guys that like. So, for example, in the OSL at the end of 2005, Pusan actually got a 3rd place in that one, right? So, you know, he was solid enough in 2005 that he was able to get to the semifinals. And Anytime was also a player who was able to kind of get up there. I don't think he ever won anything. I'm going to just go ahead and double check in the background while I'm trying to remember. But You know, he wasn't like a multiple champion winner or anything like that. And just as I say that, he did actually win OSL in 2005. He got another silver in 2005 as well. So he did get one gold and one silver in 2005. So this is like just after the peak of both of these guys, where yeah, in a couple years, these guys were like, okay, either people you didn't know or didn't know very well. But in 2006, they're like favorites, and they're definitely fan favorites as well. So that is a lot of gateways going down here, by the way, for Anytime. Did I see that right? Is that 3 gateways that he's getting?
Yes, sir, you did. And he's going to be pumping out the goons here, which this is it's an interesting map. Is it Tau Cross we've got, right? So
Yeah.
very friendly for big open arcs for Dragoons, especially as one player tries to break another. And the Dragoon count being up early is going to be pretty helpful, whereas looks like Pusan is going for the Reaver tech instead, which it will be helpful going against those arcs for sure, trying to get some shots in. And also, this is a great map to drop on. Once your goons are out of the base, it's very time consuming to get back in because of the long walk around those outer walls that you've got to do. So unless you keep a couple of goons back, which early on you're a little less likely to do, later on we're going to have to see if the players maintain that drop protection discipline to ensure they're staying safe. And it looks like Pusan going to get the jump on the goons here with, again, 5 shots to the 1 of Anytime, and he's going to chase him all the way back until Anytime can regroup and gets a free Dragoon, with the cost being only about 40 armor for the 1, or 40 hit points for the 1 Dragoon for Pusan. So starting off pretty good here for him to get his build underway, but it looks like we're going to see Anytime force his way in, and he's going to get his revenge as he evens up the Dragoon numbers. And in fact, he's actually ahead now because those gateways are starting to kick in, and Pusan is he's on his back foot here, trying to get back into his base where he's got some more protection and the home field advantage as he pumps out Dragoons from his local gateways.
Yeah, he spent all this money on tech, all this money on an expansion, and Anytime is like, nope, all Dragoons, all the time. 3 gateways, able to put out a lot more than the 1 gateway that Pusan has, but he has bought enough time that he's been able to get Reaver tech out now. So this is an interesting situation where, wait, actually in the background, Anytime has actually gotten some tech up as well. So it was mainly just the expansion that slowed him down. You know, a Nexus is worth more than 2 gateways. So if he'd had 2 more gateways up instead of that Nexus, it'd be a much better situation. He's gotten those gateways up now, sensing the threat, canceling the Nexus before it died and making those extra gateways, but it's too late that Pusan has already kind of made Anytime has already made the units. Anytime, again, in the teal there, has a much bigger Dragoon count. 2 Reavers are out now for Anytime. So he's kind of got to cower in his base and be a little bit careful with these Reavers, because if the Reavers push out and get picked off, he will get overrun by Dragoons. But in the meantime, the Dragoons are under threat from those 2 Reavers. A couple Scarabs, 2 or ideally 4 or maybe 6 Scarabs before the Reavers get picked off in those clumps of Dragoons, and suddenly the tables turn and Anytime has the advantage. So it looks like Pusan recognizes that, and he's actually going to expand behind this himself and just kind of fall back, knowing that he's got to worry about those Reavers. Once the shuttle comes out, I'm curious if we're going to see an attack with the Dragoons in the shuttle, or if we're going to see drops, or it looks like, no, actually, Pusan's going to re-expand again.
Yeah, I think he knows he has to. For sure, the fact that Anytime didn't do anything else after getting that initial map control, he secured himself his own expansion. And the game is feels very weird right now. I think Pusan is slightly behind because of what he had to do in reaction to this move from Anytime. And I like Anytime's move. That was very clever. It was like a timing push only to establish map control so that then he could expand. And Pusan went 2 Reavers before he got a shuttle, which put him in a real, to your point, precarious situation. If he tried to poke out and lost even 1 Reaver, it probably would have been game over. So he played it very conservative, but because of that, it took a long time for him to re-expand. And now He's just slightly behind, but he's going for a drop. And if he can get that drop to do anything of value here, of damage, then he'll be in good shape and caught back up. But it looks like the observer somewhere must have caught that for any time, and he's already got Dragoons in position to defend against this. So I don't see Pusan getting much damage done here. It looks like he might try to go around and do something at the natural, but that's a dangerous place to be and a dangerous game to be playing when he doesn't have any observers out on the field to see where the Dragoons are for any time. They could be forward. They could catch that Dragoon out or that shuttle out with his Dragoons, and he's got the observer spotting where that shuttle is right now. So real curious to see what Anytime chooses to do. Looks like there is an observer for Pusan outside the natural base of Anytime, so you can see when he moves out. But that's it. They're at this point, Pusan's doing his best to get back into the game economically, and they're on even basis. So as the longer that this stalemate goes for, the better it is for Pusan, I'd say, to be back to even.
Yeah, there was kind of a, it's like they got all the same stuff, but at different times, Anytime got the gateways and the Dragoons first, and then went the Reavers, and then the expansion, obviously, before the Reavers even. But Pusan kind of got them in the opposite order, but I think he kind of missed out on a little bit of an opportunity where he had Reavers in a shuttle, and Anytime did not, and he didn't really take it. Oh, taking some hits to that shuttle. Here we go. They are going to engage in battle. Both players have the Dragoons and the Reavers and the shuttles. One of the Reavers goes down, though, it looks like, and it looks like Anytime's going to pick us up and pull them back. Both players now having one shuttle and one Reaver and even Dragoons, but Pusan actually going to have to fall back here Anytime just with a couple extra Dragoons at the end of that engagement, and both players basically coming out even, picking off one Reaver each. But with more Dragoons, he's going to be able to push down the map here. Now, Anytime, it was not so significant of a victory that the next round of Dragoons isn't going to even things up. And he goes and he's going to pick off... No, he doesn't pick off the shuttle. He misses the opportunity to pick off the shuttle. He still gets the Reaver, though. And actually, Pusan has picked up a second Reaver in his shuttle. So now... this is a lazy Susan that's been attached to a motor, and it's spinning around so fast the tables are turning quickly where one player has the advantage and then the other and then the other again. And so now Pusan does have the advantage, and he's going in with that shuttle. All of the Dragoons were out in front to deal with the attack, so there's nothing in the back anymore to deal with this drop. He's going to pull the... Oh, that Scarab, that might have been the longest Scarab I've ever seen not dud. He actually lands on some probes and kills some, but he loses his other shuttle in the meantime in the battle in the middle, and has to bring his first shuttle back in here. This is descending into chaos.
Yeah, the scrappiness of this game, man, is incredible. It's just causing some sloppiness on both sides where it looked like Pusan was in a commanding lead because he got that shuttle with the Reaver, or the Reaver and the shuttle, and then he goes in and he gets a couple of probes, but then loses his own shuttle that, I don't know, did it have two Reavers in it? Like, if it did, oh, that's a massive loss. But for sure, Pusan evened it up from the point where he was clearly down Dragoons at one point, and now I think they're pretty even, as it looks like, again, they're back in the middle posturing, and we're starting to see the mix of Zealot Dragoon from Anytime, whereas we've got pure Dragoon Reaver for Pusan. He's up to 3 Reavers.
Wow.
That is some serious damage output. As long as he's keeping up with making his Scarabs, he's going to be able to do a lot of damage, keeping them in the back line here as well. Those Zealots are not going to last for long. They're going to evaporate quite quickly. And now it looks like he's trying to target the Reavers, but with 2 shuttles, he's going to be able to micro that beautifully. And Anytime is doing a nice job of picking things off, but I just think the Reavers here, 3 of them, are way too much for him to deal with. And that looks like it might be good game as Pusan is expanding behind this. And we've got just the 2 bases here for Anytime with not much else, as a Scarab takes out 2 Dragoons and seals the deal for Pusan to take the win on game 4.
Wow, good game called. Pusan takes it home. And Pusan, by the way, was the MVP of the previous week because he got a clutch win to save his team in the playoffs last time. And here he is coming out with a clutch win again, where he was actually at a bit of a disadvantage. He's going to pour some green tea on his head in celebration, I guess. That's kind of interesting. So I love that sign, by the way. Smells like Park Joe Spirit. I don't know who Park Joe is. I haven't looked it up yet, but anyway, yeah. Even if it was kind of an interesting thing at the end there, where Anytime was trying to transition out into Templar tech, but he just had lost too much stuff, and Pusan was like, well, I'm just gonna have more Reavers then, and an expansion behind this as well, and just overrun him. So that's gonna be it for a game number 4. So that's gonna make MBC game going up 3-1 in the series to try to take it home. It's gonna be, let's see, let me double check the next game here. Do I have it up? Here we go. Next game is going to be Jaedong versus Light. All the hopes of Lake Half Oz are going to be in their rookie up-and-comer. It's been a long time since you could say that about Jaedong, isn't it? Rookie up-and-comer Jaedong is going to be on the line facing off against Light for the potential game point match. And just want to mention real quick that I was actually mistaken when I said it was the game that was fault. It was actually my OBS settings. So sorry about that. I did fix the window halfway through there, but wanted to call myself out for that misinformation. And speaking of call outs, let's call out Rise as well. Thank you for joining me, Rise. And if you guys don't already, I think we all have mostly the same followers, but if you guys don't know, Rise is actually back streaming on Twitch as well. He's doing like BSL level players a lot. And what other stuff are you doing on Twitch? Is it just like we just did some games on your Twitch channel with DeWalt and Crossy? What else other kind of stuff are you doing?
Yeah, for now, that's going to be the focus, right? I love watching the foreigner scene. If you haven't been watching it, it's pretty cool to see how much energy it's got around it. It's definitely, honestly, I think Artos is coming back into streaming, or not coming back, but starting to stream a lot as well, has brought a large group of people that maybe haven't been following the foreign scene back into it. And there's a lot of people who are working on getting better at a 20-year-old game. And there's some decent prize money in it as well. So if you used to be good back in the day and you want to get some easy cash, I don't think it'll be easy with the players you'd have to go up against. Go after it. See if you can do it. They've got 3 different leagues or 4 different leagues for anyone's skill level to still participate. And it's a lot of fun watching how it all goes down. There's also for the beginners or the lower ranked players, they do have like mentor type programs if you're trying to get better. So if you don't know how to get better and you don't know how to reach out to people, sign up or look at the BSL stuff as a great way to do that. And I think, you can get yourself back into a game that we all loved 20 years ago, and it hasn't gotten worse. So I think if anything, it's interesting that it's continued to evolve. We were just talking about in the games we did how the meta is still changing, right? How is that possible? I don't know, but it is.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'll put links to Rise's YouTube and his Twitch in the video description, since his Twitch handle is too leet to really make it easy to spell it out. Rise above, but with 0 and a 3. So anyway, just click down there. Click down there. You can get to his Twitch, and you can watch him cast some high level foreign games. And of course his YouTube. I think probably at this point most people are both of us on YouTube. But anyway, we're gonna move on to game number 4, ladies and gentlemen. The next game is going to be Jaedong versus Light. It's gonna be a really cool game. Thank you for joining me, Rise, and looking forward to casting 1 to 3 more games with you, because we don't know how far the series is gonna go.
Well, thanks for having me. Looking forward to the next game.